I moved up to this part of the country about 7 years ago so that I could get away from the humidity down in Texas. I still spend about 3 months of the year out in the West and also tour in the West, so I guess you could say I live out there 3 months and tour out there 3 months, so about half the time I'm in the American West. And tonight, I want to sing you some real cowboy songs, the kind that they sang on the old-time range. Did you know that the first song that ever sold 1 million records was a cowboy song? It was in 1925. But the song was written in 1883 about a stampede. In the old-time range, when they drove thousands of cattle up the trail, sometimes a stampede was the greatest threat to a cowboy's life. Their only hope to stop the stampede in a tornado with thunder and lightning was to shoot the lead steer and hope that the rest of the cattle would follow. And as they followed, they would circle those cattle into a spiral and hope they slowed down. That was in a perfect world. But what really happened many times is that volunteer cowboy who rode out front lost his life. This is a song about a man who was loyal to his job to the very end. Something you don't find very often. People who ride for the brand. Group of jolly cowboys discussing plans at ease. Says one, I'll tell you something, boys, if you listen please. I'm an old cowpuncher, you see me dressed in rags. I used to be a good one, boys, and I went on great big jazz. I've got a home, boys, a good one you all know, though I haven't seen it since very long ago. Going back to Dixie once more to see them all. I'm going to see my mother when the work's all done this fall. When I left my home, my mother for me cried. She begged me not to go, boys, for me she would have died. Mother's heart is aching, breaking for me, that's all. With God's help I'll see her when the work's all done this fall. This cowboy went out to stand his guard. Night was dark and cloudy, it was storming very hard. The cattle, they got frightened and they rushed in wild stampede. The cowboy tried to head them while riding at full speed. Riding in the darkness so loudly he did shout, trying hard to head them to turn the herd about. His saddle horse did stumble, and upon him it did fall. He won't see his mother when the work's all done this fall. His body was so mangled, the boys all thought him dead. They picked him up so gently and they laid him on a bed. He opened up his blue eyes and looking all around, he motioned to his comrades to come near him on the ground. He said, send my mother my wages, boys, the wages I have earned. I'm so afraid, boys, the last steer that I've turned. I'm headed for a new range, I hear the master call. I'll not see my mother when the work's all done this fall. Fred, take my old saddle, George, take my old bed. Bill, take my old pistol after I am dead. Please think of me kindly when you look upon them all. I'll not see my mother when the work's all done this fall. Shorty was buried at sunrise, no tombstone for his head. Nothing but a little more, and this is what it said. Charlie died at daybreak, and he died from a fall. He'll not see his mother when the work's all done this fall. First time I heard that song, I was a little boy. And Marty Robbins sang it on the Grand Ole Opry. And ever since then, I've always thought that Marty Robbins was the greatest country music vocalist and pop music vocalist that ever lived.